I met quite a few gangsters. I did not meet Dawood Ibrahim. I only once very briefly spoke to him on the phone, but I can't vouch for it because the person who gave the phone to him, he said it is him. But I won't be knowing him for sure. Most of the time, I don't even check my timeline of what people are seeing unless someone sends me a link of anything. To a large, part, I think there's just a bunch of barking dogs who don't really mean anything, even what they write also. I basically have no issue with anybody, including Karan Johar, because I don't give anybody that much of thing to either love or hate him. It's cordial. Yes, okay. And in fact, recently when he made the film Booth Returns, he asked me for the title and immediately gave it and he thanked me over the Twitter. So we don't have any issue. We don't have, or neither do I have an issue with anybody. I would like to believe that's in distaste and in the context of my personal feeling about Urmila.
Some rever him, some are just envious of him. Some find him controversial and some find him unabashedly unapologetic. There are two sides to Ram Gopal Varma and we are going to tap into both the sides today only on Bollywood Bubble. Thank you, sir, for joining me for a conversation. You have been a torchbearer of neo-realism films, like you said, and gangster sagas. There was a point of time when आपकी movie आती थी तो सबको पता था कि it will be a realistic film, it will be hard hitting, but at the same time very entertaining. When you talk about things like Satya, when you talk about films which are about the underworld which you made, even a Veerappan, every character you tapped into, you also took into the humane side of the gangsters, which is which was very new. I don't think any other filmmaker actually did that. When you're making something like D Company today, do you think all your research over the years and your associations that have been created because of the films that you did have come in handy?
Yes. See, like you rightly said, when in real life, I do not believe that there's anything such as bad people or good people. Everyone has a certain compulsion or a situation where they do it. Yes, there could be criminals because crime is a legal word. Anything which is an act of crime is basically that you're not supposed to do under the existing societal rules. So he will be punished in due course. But what caused the crime and what kind of a situation made that person do it? And lots of times I believe they are also victims as much as the people who in particular times they might harm.
Yeah.
So eventually they're all human beings in extreme situations, in situations where normal people are not there. So I think the height of that is what I'm trying to capture in D Company. Because when we know Dawood Ibrahim is the most wanted gangster in the world right now, at least in Indian context.
Yeah.
Now he started like a street thug in 1980 in Dongri. And how he can manage to make that into international crime syndicate, I think that almost reads like the Mahabharata, And it is not about Dawood Ibrahim alone, it's like D Company. When you say D Company, it's not a registered company, first of all. It is just a name given for the entrepreneur vision of Dawood Ibrahim, because they used to be called gangs before that. Company is a word which came post Dawood Ibrahim. Yeah. So the point is, for me, I see him as an entrepreneur because though technically he's a criminal, anybody who has a far sight or has a vision in whichever system is running at that point of time, like Bill Gates saw computers in a different way. Dhirubhai Ambani saw industry in a different way. Likewise, Dawood Ibrahim saw underworld in a different way. So I just wanted to capture that and then tell the stories of the men who lived and died under the umbrella of D Company.
But did you ever meet him? Did you ever have the fortune of meeting him or any other gangster? Did you feel scared ever when you first met them?
Yeah, I met quite a few gangsters. I did not meet Dawood Ibrahim. I only once very briefly spoke to him on the phone, but I can't vouch for it because the person who gave the phone to him, he said it is him. But I won't be knowing him for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very informal 20-second conversation.
What did you say?
No, it was very formal. It's like, कैसे आप कौन सी फिल्म चल रही है? मैंने आपका Satya Company बहुत बार देख चुका हूँ. It's like very, very normal conversation. Okay. And I met gangsters. And to answer your question, whether I'm scared when I met them, surprisingly, I never met more hospitable people and more soft when they talk. Yes, I agree that could be a part of the tact. Because I think, see what they believe, if you know about their power, they're going to be extra nice to you. So that you'll be internally scared when the tide will turn. I think that's part of the tact, actually.
True.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, there are highly intelligent people and also emotional people. And whether I've met two kinds of people where they had this ambition to become a gangster, and because they don't have any other skill, probably in any other business, and they think they could do it, and they're willing to bear the consequences of their actions. And then there'll be one kind who just get caught in some situation, and by forces other than their will, they get drawn into it, and they can't come out after some time.
Yeah.
So I guess there'll be various factors, but eventually they're all human beings.
When you speak of Dawood Ibrahim, you just said something which is very beautiful. You said that there is not a good or a bad human being. Everybody has different sides, and everybody gets judged for the bad side sometimes. Like you have portrayed a human side to the gangsters. Do you sometimes feel that as a human being, you have also been misrepresented or misjudged by audiences? Because there are a lot of cruel things said to you or about you on social media, everywhere in the media as well. Does that ever get to you? Did that ever bother you?
See, I feel the whole point of social media is that everyone reacts on everybody, and the more stronger you have an opinion, the more stronger they react. I think that's a given on if you're wanting to be on the social media. So that doesn't really bother me, and most of the time I don't even check my timeline of what people are saying unless someone sends me a link of anything. To a large part, I think there's just a bunch of barking dogs who don't really mean anything, even what they write also. So that's not the issue. But irrespective of whatever they say or not say, I think social media's main purpose is for you to express your opinion or state something which you believe or which you felt at that moment, and I will continue doing that.
Yeah. I think you put your opinions ferociously and in a very direct and very strong manner, which sometimes doesn't go down well with the masses or the Twitter social Twitterati. But at the same time, when there are other filmmakers, I want to know what is your relationship with Karan Johar like in today's times? Because so much has been spoken about you too.
I basically have no issue with anybody, including Karan Johar, because I don't give anybody that much of thing to either love or hate him. It's cordial. Yes, okay. And in fact, recently when he made that film Booth Returns, he asked me for the title and immediately gave it, and he thanked me over the Twitter. So we don't have any issue. We don't have, or neither do I have an issue with anybody for that.
Like I said, that you have always spoken your heart out on Twitter, especially on issues, and you have also been one of the most unapologetic people on Twitter. Like for millennials also, it's fun to read what you write because, there is a different perspective to everything. You never followed the herd, is what I mean. You have been a stalwart who has been the prime force behind actors like Manoj Bajpayee and Urmila Matondkar. Like, she has delivered some of the best things with you. At the same time, today you are appreciative of Kangana, but there was a point when Kangana actually called Urmila ma'am by a very bad name, and she referred to her as a soft porn heroine, and she took your film's name in context to that. Did that rile you up, or did that make you angry?
I see that's the whole point of social media. I feel people express opinions. Sometimes they use language which could be very offensive, but that's the whole point of freedom of speech. If it doesn't offend somebody, why do you need freedom? I mean, I would like to believe that's in distaste and in the context of my personal feeling about Urmila, about her performance, about whatever she said. Now, that's Kangana's viewpoint, So I didn't say anything about Kangana saying it. I just said, kind of as a director, I gave my feeling about how versatile an actor Urmila is.
But did that bother you? Because you and Urmila ma'am's equation go a really long way. At the time when
yes, it bothers me. But what I'm saying, freedom of speech is fundamentally about that. If it doesn't bother somebody, what is the point of speaking? When you say you need freedom of speech, is only when it offends somebody. Now, I say a lot of things about a lot of people. I'm sure they get bothered, they get offended. So when I do that, I don't have the right to talk about someone else's saying something about someone. Yeah.
When I speak to people like Abhishek Bachchan, Abhishek is a friend, and whenever we speak about you, he always says that there's a side to Ramu that not many people are privy to. You restrict that side. He says it's a more human side which people don't know. He's actually a very nice human being, and you can chat with him and you can have conversations which you never think you can. What stops you, sir, from exposing that side of you to the world?
I'm not really sure what he's talking about. You see, I would like to think any side of mine, when I'm making a comment on the Twitter or the interview, it will be directly related to the questions asked to me. I don't like to be politically right. I don't like to be morally right. I would like to shock people who I'm talking to. And pretty much that's my personality. But the entire thing comes from my understanding of human emotions eventually. So probably in the context I'm speaking one-to-one with Abhishek or someone, that particular side might open up, but there's no reason for me to do that with anybody and everybody.
Okay, but I hope to see you soon, sir. Thank you for this wonderful conversation. And yeah, you are definitely one of the most revered filmmakers of every time.
Take care. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.